From the many, many rap album snubs at the Grammys over the years, to the only Grammy rap album conspiracy theory that makes sense. Have you ever noticed that the Grammys have never nominated a rap album for Album of the Year? Dare I say, the Grammy committee hates rap. Okay, that might be a stretch because rap singles have won big during the award ceremony, and in 2019, Childish Gambino's This Is America did win Record of the Year. That's still not Album of the Year, the most coveted award the Grammys have to offer. Looking as far back as 2009, almost a decade ago, out of the 75 nominees for the category, there have only been 13 rap albums and, you guessed it, not a single winner. Speaking of which, the committee tends to play it fast and loose when nominating anything as a rap album. Fans have since claimed that not every rap album for Record of the Year was technically rap. Some might argue that it's not like the Grammys hate rap. They do have a separate category dedicated specifically to the genre. You have to remember that rap music has been popular for decades at this point. Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Tupac, 50 Cent, and the list of names that everyone on the face of the planet knows goes on and on. Besides being people who've attained mainstream stardom, what's the one other thing all of them have in common? Yup, they're all rappers. By comparison, the most popular genre at the Grammys, pop, has so many up-and-coming artists every other day that it's hard to remember everyone at this point. There are a select few at the very top, and they've more or less taken over the entire category. The irony of the pop industry is a story for another time. Let's circle back to why the Grammys have it out for rappers. Did you know that in 2018, 2 rap albums were nominated for Album of the Year? Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy and, of course, Drake's Scorpion. There was a clear winner in everyone's minds, and you're probably thinking the same. Drake should have gone home with the award, no questions asked. God's Plan was blasting on everyone's speakers that summer. Just for the fun of it, let's talk about the other nominees for that category. Beer Bongs and Bentleys by Post Malone, H.E.R. by H.E.R., Dirty Computer by Janelle Monáe, the Black Panther studio album, Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves, and by the way, I Forgive You by Brandy Charlie. In all fairness, there were some tough contenders on this list, and if not Drake, then everyone would have picked the same few names to take his place. So, guess who ended up taking home the win? It was Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves. Was it a good album? Absolutely. But was Drake snubbed at the Grammys? You better believe it. The American country singers won a total of 6 Grammys throughout her career. That's a commendable number, right? One of her wins was, obviously, Album of the Year. Now, if we focus on just Casey, then it makes sense. She'd already bagged 5 awards. However, going off that logic, Kanye West with 24 individual awards at the Grammys, Jay-Z with just about the same, and Kendrick Lamar with 12 should have gotten Album of the Year several years ago, right? The Grammys are the most coveted awards in the music industry, and Album of the Year is the most revered prize. Every year, thousands of hopefuls try for this award, but only one of them can win. So Grammy sympathizers have come up with an excuse for why the awards committee hasn't handed out Album of the Year to a rap album just yet. Rap's not that popular. The theory's as bizarre as it is laughable, honestly. Of the several tens and hundreds of genres available globally, rap dominates as one of the most streamed genres anywhere in the world. According to Spotify, 30% of its annual streams are made up of rap singles and rap albums. If we look at it another way, the most streamed artist on the platform is Drake. So, while there may be other reasons why rap albums are overlooked by the Grammy committee, rap's lack of popularity among the general public is not one of them. With that theory out of the window, let's talk about another one. The Grammy committee doesn't pick Album of the Year based on popularity anyway. This one might have some weight to it. The clip of Kanye West snatching the microphone from Taylor Swift's hands at the 2009 MTV Awards and declaring that Beyoncé should have won instead lives rent-free in everyone's head. Sure, those were the MTV Awards and not the Grammys.
I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
But the sentiment's the same. It's the fact that award show panels don't just hand out awards based on popularity. They would have to factor in popularity for sure, but there are other parameters they have to consider. Again, it's not like just anyone could win Album of the Year, right? Okay, this might be a plausible theory, so let's dissect it. How does the Grammy committee pick an album for Album of the Year? There are some 13,000 voting members on the panel, and all of them are currently employed in the music industry. To become a voting member, you'd have to submit your forms by a set deadline each year. The whole process is peer-centered. That is, your peers and the people you work with in the music industry are the ones who get to decide who wins an award and who doesn't. On that note, it's not like the panel goes over every single piece of music recorded every year when deciding. They only review the music that's been submitted for consideration to the Grammy, and only people on the voting committee can submit their recordings for consideration. Some categories, such as Best Emerging Artist, Artist of the Year, and, of course, Album of the Year, are selected by everyone on the voting panel. Individual awards for specific genres are chosen solely by voting panel members with relevant expertise. So, that's a rundown of what it's like behind the scenes. That being said, how come rap albums aren't selected as Album of the Year when there have been so many amazing albums over the years? Another example of a snub would have been in 2001 when Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP lost to Steely Dan's 2-Against-One. No one's out here saying that Steely Dan's album didn't deserve praise and recognition, but Album of the Year? That's a stretch. The saga continued when 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying lost in 2004, Kanye West's Late Registration lost in 2006, and Lil Wayne's The Carter III lost in 2009. So, how does this tie in with how the voting panel selects a winner for Album of the Year? According to a few rap fanatics who believe that there's a greater conspiracy in play, the panel is specifically told not to vote for rap album and give minority-led albums a shot at the coveted award. Obviously, this is a conspiracy theory for now, but the people who claim it's true have receipts. While there might have been a time when rap albums just didn't fare all that well in the past, recently it seems like only up-and-coming artists or minority artists are winning Album of the Year. The conspiracy goes deeper to say that the Grammys are more concerned with their social media image and the need to seem all-inclusive that they've traded in actual merit. Obviously, a conspiracy hunch isn't enough to get everyone on board. So let's look at this theory with an example. Astroworld. Travis Scott had one of the best albums of the decade, yet it seemingly wasn't good enough for a Grammy win. How does that happen? You have to remember that Astroworld had over 1 billion streams on Spotify and actually won Album of the Year at the BET Hip Hop Award. It wasn't, however, nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys and lost to Cardi B that year for Best Rap Album. Unless you forgot, Travis Scott's always been a controversial figure in the music industry, and Astroworld was hit with several controversies of its own. According to several fans, the Grammys snubbed Travis's album because they were too concerned about maintaining their image. Let's keep all that aside for a minute though, and assume that maybe the Grammys aren't intentionally snubbing rap albums for Album of the Year, and there really isn't anything sinister going on. Maybe it's not controversial at all. Maybe the Grammys just haven't been noticing rap albums as much as they should, which, if true, is the worst thing one of the most popular music awards could ever do. It appears to be true, though, and perhaps the Grammys will wake up and get their act together and finally recognize rap, the most popular genre on the planet right now, by awarding them Album of the Year. Anyway, from the only Grammy and rap album conspiracy theory that makes sense to the many rap album snubs at the awards throughout the years, that was why the Grammys never nominate rap albums.